Now, TikTok is at the heart of the US-China trade deal, and there are reports that a framework agreement has been reached between the two nations. But the real issue, to my mind, is not about who owns the share, but who controls the algorithm. It's the TikTok algorithm that makes the company so addictive and popular. If it was simply so easy to copy, then a Meta's Reel, a YouTube Shorts, or even a Snap Spotlight would have already become just as popular as TikTok. Now, China is insisting on keeping the ownership of the IP with itself while licensing the algorithm to the new US entity. Washington, meanwhile, says it wants complete, real operational independence. We'll wait for the details, but I think the debate will remain that will TikTok's algorithm be just as effective in its new avatar under this new arrangement? Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. While I was researching about this, there's one difference that I learned that made TikTok so popular, and I thought it's interesting, right? The traditional US social media apps were built on your network of friends, your friends' friends, basically a social graph. And it showed you content only from your friends, the followed accounts, and big influencers. But TikTok, on the other hand, completely flipped the script. They showed content from anyone, as long as your interests are aligned. So based on your interests. So it wasn't limited to your friend network. Even creators who didn't have big followers got noticed. Even newcomers, their content could go viral. And this created this constant stream of new content, making it highly engaging and fresh. There's one more issue, if you want to call it that. Now, under the proposed deals, according to reports, the US TikTok entity will have a board which is primarily American, which makes sense because there are national security concerns, considering that TikTok is China-owned. But there will also be one board member chosen by the US government. Now, even if that is symbolic, there will be questions which could be raised about government influencing, the shape of trending topics, content policies. You could question the credibility of a neutral platform. But on the other hand, you can counter-argue because anyway today, China has a 1%, the government of China has a 1% golden share in ByteDance local arm, which is one of the reasons why TikTok anyway became a national security flashpoint. As I said, and as I began starting off, the real question is who controls TikTok's algorithm and will it remain just as effective in its new avatar? What is your view?